Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing the disappearance of Michael Elkinton. This man disappeared on July 12, 2017, 8 years ago. 2,778 days as of today, February 18th, 2025. We've been asked to look back into this case to see if there's anything we could discover and try to help bring this man home to his family to either be reunited or laid to rest and give closure. Before we get started going through our investigation, let's take a look at Michael Elkinton as he was in a natural setting with his family. We found rural Hector, Arkansas is a very small, tight-knit community. And yes, rumors run amok among this community. What ifs, what if that might have been, you name it. Accusations have been thrown around, but I have not heard one rumor that is correct as of this date. We have debunked every single one. And at this point, I'm not even going to discuss the rumor mill. We base this stuff on facts, and these are the facts that the people spreading rumors did not know. Michael Elkinton and his neighbor, Bill Black, have had a long-time neighborly friendship. As of the day that Michael Elkinton disappeared, for approximately a week to a week and a half, there had been a heated argument between the two. It was growing more and more heated, approaching the July 12th date. It finally all come to light on July 12th at an altercation between Mr. Elkinton and Mr. Bill Black, Kevin Hobby, Sandra Frederick, Bill Black Jr., we're going to call him. At the 6800 White Oak Mountain address where this occurred, there's a father-son, Bill Black, and we're going to call him Senior, and Bill Black, we're going to call him Junior. One is 66, one is 36. Also present at the altercation is Kevin Hobby. Another involved person at the altercation on July 12th at the 6800 White Oak Mountain address, Sandra Frederick. We have statements from each, except for young 36-year-old Bill Black. Now, on July 12th, 2017, around lunch, 12:10 p.m., the suspected offender is Mike Elkinton at the 6800 White Oak Mountain property. Now, it's unclear who actually called 911 from the 6800 White Oak Mountain property that day, but we believe it was Kevin Hobby. The reason it's unclear who called 911 on July 12th, 2017 to report the terroristic threatening allegedly Mike Elkinton was doing there at the 6800 White Oak Mountain property is because Polk County Sheriff's Office is denying all requests in holding on to the 911 calls. In fact, once it was noticed what we were actually looking into here at this channel, which was the disappearance of Mike Elkinton, they are now denying all requests for all information of any kind related to Bill Black, 6800 White Oak Mountain Road to 6880 White Oak Mountain Road, or anything related to Michael Elkinton. We find this kind of strange and was actually shocked that it is still an ongoing investigation according to Pope County Sheriff's Department here in Pope County, Arkansas. Because from the beginning, from day one, they have claimed and stated no foul play was suspected in this case, which should have kept this case at the status of a missing endangered person. And here in Arkansas, 5 years of no activity, and you are legally declared a deceased individual. So if Pope County Sheriff's Office doesn't think foul play was involved in Michael Elkinton's disappearance, why is there still an ongoing investigation here in Pope County regarding Michael Elkinton? Why are they denying all information requests regarding Michael Elkinton or any incidents in the vicinity or time frame in that very area? They're denying everything. The case is still an ongoing investigation according to the Criminal Investigation Department at Pope County Sheriff's Office. Why? You have to ask yourself why. There's been no progress since day one in this case that we're aware of. Now back to the July 12th, 2017 terroristic threatening incident call. Responding officer Thomas Gibson from Pope County Sheriff's Office was on the scene, as well as a few other officers we will name in a few minutes. Already on the screen, you'll see the statement from Kevin Hobby on July 12th, 2017. He states that approximately 12:30 in the afternoon, Mike Elkinton approached himself, Bill Black, and Sandra Frederick and threatened to kill them several times. Mr. Elkinton was only wearing a pair of shorts and was drinking a beer. He was also wild-eyed. He states Mr. Elkinton was pointing his finger and kept continually threatening them until deputies arrived, which is not 100% accurate because Mike Elkinton left the 6800 address and went back to his own residence before deputies arrived. Now here's what Sandra Frederick said happened that day during the terroristic threatening call on July 12th, 2017. She says she was standing in the front yard at 6800 White Oak Mountain Road when Michael Elkinton walked into the road, or into the yard, and threatened to burn all the cabins down and start a national forest fire. I asked him why, and he said, "Trust me, I'm going to do it." She states he later come back a second time and threatened to kill herself, Bill Black, and Kevin Hobby. Her statement was at 1:10 p.m., witnessed by Deputy Thomas Gibson. Now on your screen, you'll see the statement from Bill Black, Sr., the 66-year-old Bill Black at the 6800 White Oak Mountain address, and what he had to say about what happened July 12th, 2017 with Mike Elkinton. Sr., the 66-year-old Bill Black, states that he lives at 6800 White Oak Mountain Road in Hector, Arkansas. And on 2017, July 12, 2017, Mike, he states, came over threatening you, but he crosses out you and writes me because he thought you shorted him a beer a couple of weeks ago, exchange. That's what he had to say about the incident on the terroristic threat. Now keep in mind, there's two Bill Blacks, Senior, Junior. at the time 166 and 136. They are very confusing in this situation in the report and not really clarified which Bill Black is being talked about at any given time. Now, all three statements come from the same terroristic threatening call on July 12, 2017 at 6800 White Oak Mountain Road. All three statements vary considerably except for the threatening. For instance, Kevin Hobby is the only one that mentioned Mr. Elkinton had only a pair of shorts on. No shoes, no shirt, only a pair of shorts and drinking a beer. Nobody else mentioned that. Seems strange. Sandra Frederick talks about him talking about burning a bunch of cabins down. Nobody else mentions that. Senior Bill Black thinks it's over a beer a couple weeks ago. Nobody else mentions that. Now, and keep in mind, there is no statement from Bill Black Jr., the 36-year-old, that was also there. And if you'll look closely at Bill Black's statement on the screen right now, 66-year-old Bill Black, look at the signature down at the bottom. That person did not write the rest of the statement. You can obviously see that. What do you think? Okay, now on the screen we have the incident report from July 12, 2017, that terroristic threatening call at 6800 White Oak Mountain Road, that is written by Pope County Sheriff's Office Deputy Thomas Gibson. And here's what he wrote in his report. Deputy Thomas Gibson from Pope County Sheriff's Office writes, on 7/12/2017, he spoke to the complainant, Hobby, concerning a terroristic threatening complaint at 6800 White Oak Mountain Road. Hobby stated that Black, Frederick, and himself were outside their residence. Hold that thought for just a moment. This is why we believe Kevin Hobby is the one that made the 911 call, because he was who Deputy Thomas Gibson made contact with immediately after reaching 6800 White Oak Mountain Road. Now back to his report. Deputy Thomas Gibson states, when the suspect Elkinton came over threatening to kill them, he continued to threaten to burn all the cabins in the area down, as well as the property and their house. He also stated he would set the forest on fire. And during the length of our response, the suspect was continually causing a disturbance and threatening the victims. But just before our arrival, suspect, allegedly Mike Elkinton, left and went back to his residence at 6880 White Oak Mountain Road. Okay, and there's a slight conflict there, because he can't be continually causing the disturbance and threatening the entire response to the call when they turn right around and say, just before we arrived, he left and went back to his own residence. Let's continue. Thomas Gibson says, upon my arrival, along with Deputies Harris, Rodmuller, and Trooper Williams, we attempted to make contact with Mike Elkinton in the front yard of his residence. Thomas Gibson says he exited his patrol car and identified himself and why he was there. But Mike Elkinton saw us, ran into his residence, stating, I didn't do anything, this is my land, to get out of here. After several attempts of trying to reach Elkinton over a loudspeaker and calling the residence via the phone, the suspect failed to exit the residence nor talk to us. The suspect also had a large, vicious dog in the residence with him. We left the residence and spoke with the victims once more, which would be Black, Hobby, Frederick, and young Black. Written statements were obtained from the victims, and they were advised of the warrant process. We just saw the statements that they wrote concerning July 12th, 2017 terroristic threatening call, allegedly by Mike Elkinton. This is what Polk County Sheriff's Department has on record as what happened. This is just a random piece of information that was obtained from a close source to this situation, but Thomas Gibson saying he exited his patrol car in Mr. Elkinton's front yard verifies this piece of information that we have heard from or heard about since we first got involved in this case, which was Thomas Gibson's name tag was found in the driveway buried in the mud. Now, it may have no meaning whatsoever, but it was a piece of information that Thomas Gibson himself verifies for us. He was in the front yard of Mr. Elkinton's residence, and he did exit his patrol car, which leads us to believe there is a high probability his name tag being buried in the mud in the front driveway is accurate. Keep in mind, Vietnam veteran Michael Elkinton, 62 at the time of his disappearance. He would be 69 today. All this played out that I'm showing you on the last day he was ever seen. This brings episode 1 of Where is Mike Elkinton to an end. We hope the evidence we presented to you today gets you to thinking. Someone knows where Mike Elkinton is. Come forward. Help us find Mike Elkinton and bring him home. Thank you for watching. Please share this video. It will increase the chances of getting the video in front of somebody that knows where Mike Elkinton is. Subscribe or hit that notification bell for episode 2, which will be coming up in a few days. And here's a small soundbite from that episode. We have found documentation that says Mike Elkinton was on White Oak Mountain, alive and well, on 7/14/2017, in an altercation with 2 individuals that included a firearm on White Oak Mountain. We're at none other 6800 White Oak Mountain Road. Stay tuned.